Good evening, everyone, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Okinaumi says hello, by the way. And we are ready to dive into day 4 sumo. Let's just get into it. All right, share the old screen. Hi. All right, here we go. Matches and topics. Absent Rikshi today. Ono Show pulling out of the tournament here. Um, on day 4. A Maegashira 5 wrestler. And I believe we'll look in a minute. I believe he was winless when he had to pull out. So perhaps something not going right and not getting better. And therefore the withdrawal from the tournament. Okay. Let's look down in Jurio as we often do really quick before we get into the top division. Hakuoho winning to go to 3-1. Bunch of guys at 3-1. Shishi 3-1. Hidenumi 3-1. Wow, look at this. Miyogiru, Shirokuma. Tsurugisho lost. He had been undefeated. Asakoru is maintaining his undefeated streak, as is Onokatsu. So they are the two leaders now down in the Jurio division, both high Jurio, Jurio 4, and Jurio 1. So both, if they can keep this up, will be promoted up to the top division in September. So good luck to both of them. And one of them will very likely win the U show. But, a lot of guys at 3-1, one off the pace. So that's a little premature on my part to say that one of those two guys is going to win. Um, uh, many people at 3-1. When we look at the tournament leaders board in a moment, you'll see just how many people are on that list. Okay, we can go all the way down to the bottom. I believe Enho fought today, but it might have been yesterday. Let's look at day 3. Yeah, so he fought on day 3, Enho, and got a win. So congrats. He's now 1-1 down in the very bottom division. All right, go back to day 4 here, and let's look at the top division. What do we got going on? So Roga started the day with a win over Nishiki Fuji. Roga now 2-2. Roga, of course, from Russia. Russia. That's an awesome Keisho Mawashi with the wolf on there. And he is, what's his highest rank? Let's see real quick. He has been a Maegashira 15. So this is it. Look at that. Maegashira 15, Maegashira 15, Maegashira 15. But he's never broken out and gotten higher than that yet. That's interesting. Let's see what he did. So literally holding on by his fingernails here. 7-8, 7-8. They're not demoting him. They're letting him stick around. So can this be the tournament where he breaks out and gets a Kachikoshi and breaks past Maegashira 15? It's hard to say at the moment. He's got some tough opponents like Wakatake Kage, Takara Fuji coming up tomorrow that he's already fought. Wakatake Kage and lost. So 2-2 now. Keep an eye on Roga and see how he does. Wakatake Kage, speaking of him, 3-1 now by beating Bushozan. Kageyaki beat Endo today, so we don't want to see Endo struggle so much that he goes back down to Jurio right away. We'll have to see how he's doing from time to time. 1-3 right now. Shiranomi's is in the 3-1 group. So is Ichi Yamamoto. Now I heard from somebody on my Patreon that Asanoyama had to be helped uh, away from the dohyo in a wheelchair after his match with Ichi Yamamoto. I'm not sure what the nature of the injury is. I'll try to find out more about that and let you know tomorrow. So wouldn't be 100% surprised if he pulls out, maybe just for a day or two, if it's just something that can be fixed. But I really just have no more information about that. I didn't watch on my DVR today because I came home like at a reasonable time, but I can not reverse. I can rewind and go back and watch and pick up that match, and I probably will tonight before I go to bed to see what happened with Asanoyama. So thank you to the Patreon person that pointing that out to me. Very helpful. Okay, Hokuto Fuji fought Nishikigi in a match between two guys who started the day winless. Both were 0-3. Hokuto Fuji got the win to go to 1-3. Oshoma So, all the guys that were on the leaderboard yesterday, undefeated, lost today pretty much. Asanoyama lost. Oshoma, as you can see, lost here to Midori Fuji. Tamawashi picking up a win. Kimbozan winless at 0-4. Ono Show, as I said, was 0-3, pulled out of the tournament today to go to 0-4, giving a free win to Takanosho. Koto Shoho beat Shonanaumi. He had been undefeated, so he's now 3-1. Ura beat Atami Fuji in a good match from Ura, I have to say. I often don't give him his props, but very good sumo from Ura today to go to 3-1. And this is where my matches started on Patreon today. I was able to get home a little earlier today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I had 8 matches up on Patreon today. So, yep, still be happy if you want to come over there and join us. Kirishima, though, losing another 3-0 Rikshi from going into today undefeated, losing on day 4. He lost to Daisho. Onosato. It's not going to be his time, guys. It's going to get delayed. So, some people were thinking on these 11 plus these 12 plus if he does well here. But starting the tournament 1-3, he'd have to really turn things around. And you can't imagine that he's going to finish 12-3 and win 11 in a row now. So he's probably going to finish more with like a 9-6 or a 10-5 if he's lucky. And that's not going to be enough to get him promoted to Ozeki. But if he can get, say, 10, right, which would be great, then 10 plus 12 is 22, and he would only need 11 in September to get Ozeki. So he's by no means, like should be despondent or anything. He needs to obviously turn things around and start to get some wins. He has a tough opponent tomorrow. He has Kirishima, but he could still get 9 or 10 wins easily and still keep himself on that pace. Don't think he's going to win the U show this time with those kind of numbers in the first 4 days. So, we'll see. We'll keep going. Lots of sumo to go. All right. So Abi, the Sekewake, also losing today. All 3 Sekewake lost today. Abi has yet to actually win a match. The only one win he has was a free one when Takayasu pulled out. He lost to Meisei today. Tobizaru beat Takakeisho. Takakeisho is a worry that he won't be able to get his 8, and he'll have to go down to Sekewake in September. I believe that's the first time that's ever happened in his career. Can I pull up? Yeah, I can pull up Wikipedia here. Let's look. We need to go a little further back, I think. K.E. Show. All right. I know he's been Karuban so many times. So let's see. Okay, so in 2019, Takakeisho put up the numbers 13, 11, and 10, right? Became an Ozeki and immediately pulled out of the tournament, sat out due to injury. Okay, so okay, so he did look right at the very beginning. He got promoted to Ozeki and didn't get 8 wins. So he was Kadoban in July of 2019 and had to sit out. So he got demoted to Sekewake. But then he goes 12-3, gets the 10 he needs and more, and actually is the runner-up and loses the whole Basho in a playoff. So that's enough to put him back up to Ozeki. So this has happened to him before. Then Ozeki, tournament canceled. That was during COVID. Yep. He's won 2 U show at that point. Ozeki. Yeah, just like, Kadoban then gets 8. 12-3, 12-3. Kadoban gets his 8. Sat out. Has to come get 8 here, gets 11. Kadoban gets 8. Just barely. Kadoban, will he get 8? So, yeah, and this is the will he get 8 right here, right? Okay. So it did happen to him right at the beginning of his Ozeki career, where he got demoted to Sekewake, and he did bounce back. So there you go. Okay, let's go back over. Hoshoru losing today to Gonoyama. A fierce battle. Hoshoru grabbing his arm at the end of the match. So hoping that's not any kind of injury. Maybe just. Oh, and speaking of people beat up, Tobizaru. If you can see footage of that match, you're allowed to slap with an open hand in sumo. You can't punch or do anything with a closed fist. And he just got a slap from Takakeisho in their match, and it looked like it really kind of, like in a boxing match, like kind of rattled his cage a bit, and he just looked out of it. And they even brought him into the interview room because he's a Maegashira 4 that beat an Ozeki, and almost I think to ask him, "Are you okay?" And he just sort of stood there and said, "Yeah, daijoubu, daijoubu, I'm okay." And I don't know. He looked pretty rattled. Not, I don't concussion or whatever. Just like the slap really. Maybe it got him in the eyeball or something. I don't know. He just didn't look very with it after the match. Wakamoto Haru lost to Kotozakura, the only Ozeki to win today. He's now 3-1 and doing the best out of the active Ozeki. And Terunofuji, no problem with Mitakeumi. A very strong showing from the Yokozuna today to go to 4-0. And as we go to the leaderboard, you'll see he's the only undefeated Rikishi left. So he's the sole leader. Look at all these guys at 3-1. Crazy. Because all the guys that were undefeated went to 3-1 today, and then a bunch of other guys, were 2-1 and went up to 3-1. So just, it's really anybody's bus show at this point. But Terunofuji, I think, is just laser focused and knows what's at stake, wants to win this 10th Yusho of his career, maybe retire afterwards and go out with a bang. So I think he's going to be really tough to beat. Down in Jurio, like I said, we have the two guys undefeated, and then they have a bunch of guys at 3-1, but less than the top division. 7 guys at 3-1, including Hakuoho, and then you have the other divisions. Okay, let's look at some other stuff going on in the standings of the contest. 614 people. Well, maybe take me out, so 613 of you. And Jabba Grimbeard is a name I know. I think he's been in the top running before. And I think I even know Jonathan Pyle. I think I know your name as well, Jonathan. Pavalas, I know I sent a prize to recently, so he is very good at this picking of a team. I like Shoryu's Quiver, Samurai Himeji Castle. Some of you guys have come up with some really interesting names. I know Brutus, I know Koto Mikey. Some of you do very well at picking. So right now to be in the top, you need 19 points and pretty solid. This is the tiebreaker over here. You obviously had to pick Terunofuji, which I don't think a lot of people did in the Yokozuna Ozeki bracket. So the people that did are, doing okay with that. I'm pretty sure I have Kirishima, but I know I have Ryuden somewhere in here. That's hurting my. Let's see where I am. Okay, well, let's go down 16. I know I'm not that high. 15. Nope. 14. Am I down here? Oh, there's a lot of 15s. 14. Nope. 13. Darn, man. Maybe I didn't get so many wins today. There I am. 346. So 345 of you have better teams than me right now. I have Kotozakura. Oh, I have Onosato, which so many of you guys do as well, I know. So all of us are hurting because he's only got 1 win. Wakamoto Haru, Ryuden only has 1 win, and then Wakataka Kage and Asanoyama. Not bad choices, but if Asanoyama has to pull out of the tournament, then that'll really hurt my chances. So yeah, I'm tied, if you will, for 7th place. But really I'm at 346th place. So way behind the leaders. So 3 people in first and 10 people in second, and then a whole bunch more after that. So I will post the link to this page if you want to check and see where you are. down in the description of this video. And I think that's about it. Patreon is rocking along. I got this collection going. And so far, guys, in just 4 days, I posted 34 match videos. So pretty impressive. Let's see what happens when we click on it. You can sort it, I think, how you like, but there's today's final match of the day. And I started to do this thing. So because I think the playlist maybe doesn't play them in order here on Patreon of, going, okay, this is the 8th video of the day. This is 4.7 and 4.6 and 4.5. And I still upload them in order, but hopefully that'll help people. This is it. Barb, thank you, Barb, was telling me Asanoyama injured in his bout. So I'm going to go check that out on my DVR. Onosato's on the channel, Kirishima. Look at that Ura picture. Very nice. And that was the first match of today. So if you're interested, head on over. It's just $1 at the smallest tier. And you can get in on the match action for the July Boss show. Oh, shoot. One more thing. Don't leave yet. All right. Hold on. Share one more time. You guys almost let me leave without talking about tomorrow. Okay, so let's look at what's happening on day 5. Should have fairly full coverage for you tomorrow. Don't think I have to stay at work for any reason, so hopefully you'll be home at a reasonable hour. Diamami coming up from Jurio because of Ono Show's absence. And he's 0-4, though, having a rough start. Let's see. Who do we got? Wakataka Kage against Chiranoumi, both 3-1. Asanoyama slated, so we'll see if he's okay to fight Midori Fuji. Tamawashi Ichi Yamamoto in a match between two guys 3-1. Another match between two 3-1 Rikishi Koto Shoho versus Oshoma. Kim Bozan at 0-4 is yet to win. There's my boy Ryuden. Come on, Ryuden. Beat Takanosho tomorrow. Shonana Umi taking on Sadano Umi. Tobizaru Meisei. And then we get into our Sanyaku and above. Daisho Hirada Umi in a battle of Komosubi. Abi versus Atami Fuji. Kirishima Onosato. That should be a fun one. Kotozakura Mitakeumi. Ura taking on Takekeisho. And Wakamoto Haru Hoshoru before the final match of the day is Teruno Fuji versus M3 Gonoyama. All right. So I doubt they have much of a head-to-head, but I think Gonoyama's fought the Yokozuna at least once. Let's see. How long? Let's see. When did he come up? Yeah, he's been in the top division a little while. Okay. So he came up from Jurio. Got the Kanto show right away when he was a Maegashira 13 a year ago in July. No Teruno Fuji. I'm looking if he fought Teruno Fuji here. No. No, that's Takeru Fuji. Yeah, I don't think he's ever fought the Yokozuna before, at least not in a Honba show. Okay. So that could be a first time meeting. And like I said, some of these wrestlers, it might be the only chance they have left to fight Teruno Fuji. So we'll see. Day 5. Okay. And just real quick look at Jurio. Any big matchups? Hakuo has Nabatame. And then let's see, Onokatsu has Mitoru. And Asakoru has Tsurugisho. So I'll definitely have some Jurio footage up for you at the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So if you're interested in what's happening down there, check on Saturday if you're a member of the Patreon. And interesting bus show so far. So let me go check out that footage with Asanoyama, see what I can tell you. I'll update you tomorrow night. Friday, I might not have one of these videos. Friday is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, day 6. Because I think we're doing some end of year, not end of year, end of term, if you will, before summer vacation starts kind of thing with the other teachers on Friday night. So I probably won't have one of these Friday For the Patreon viewers, I'm probably going to put the highlights up. If some of you remember when I used to do highlights, NHK put this program on at like 2 in the morning where they, kind of like do a Nato sumo thing where they, splice all the matches just down to the tachi in about 25 minutes. They give you all 20 matches. And I'll put that up on the channel on Saturday morning, Japan time. But I won't have one of these YouTube updates. Probably again, well, I'll have one on day 5, and then I'll have one on day 7. So no day 6. Okay, guys, take care of yourselves. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.